Welcome to Influential Entrepreneurs, bringing you interviews with elite business leaders and experts, sharing tips and strategies for elevating your business to the next level. Here's your host, Mike Saunders.
Hello and welcome to this episode of Influential Entrepreneurs. This is Mike Saunders, the Authority Positioning Coach. Today we have with us John Brown, who's the creator of the BEI exit planning process. John, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Mike. I'm looking forward to our chat.
Yeah, me too. I always love when a company has a unique proprietary method and tool, and then uses it to help someone else get something that they need, which is serving their client base. So I know we'll that's kind of cryptic sounding, but I know looking at your bio and your website, we're going to unpack all of that. But give us a little bit of your background in the industry. What's your entrepreneurial journey been like in your 30 plus years in the industry?
Well, I could talk for an hour on my journey, Mike, but I'll try to make it brief. I'm the child of entrepreneurs who owned a business. I went to law school, so I was a lawyer from the 1970s on. I quickly decided to focus I co-founded the law firm, an entrepreneurial law firm, grew to become mid-sized within 5 to 10 years. And our focus was on representing business owners. We did business planning, estate planning, sold a lot of businesses, and I developed over time an interest in helping owners develop a plan to build value and to exit their business, having achieved their exit goals. And I started to call that exit planning. So this was from maybe the early 1980s on. So that's really how I became interested in exit planning. I saw a need for business owners to have somebody who could help them, because most advisors don't know what to do. And for me, it was a learning process. I didn't know what to do initially. So through trial and error, unfortunately for some of my clients, I learned a lot about an exit planning process. I've written 3 books on exit planning. The first was called How to Run Your Business So You Could Leave It in Style, directed towards business owners, as all of my books have been. And that actually became a best-selling book in this space. Eventually, we distributed about 225,000 books through my original publisher, and then through self-publishing. We sold, quite a few books. So that really kind of put us on the map.
Sure. Yeah, what I love about the concept, and I want to unpack exit planning, what that really means, but I really like the concept of that because I know it's talking to a business owner about, the end of the exit, begin with the end in mind. Mm-hmm. And actually I interviewed someone that wrote a book called End with the Beginning in Mind, so you better connect both of those dots.
Absolutely.
But planning, like I know you work a lot with financial professionals, financial planners. You better start planning your retirement years ahead of when you actually need it. And you better start planning your exit from your company years ahead of when you actually need to, because you need time to make some moves. So talk a little bit about the genesis of the exit plan, why you felt like that was necessary to work with business owners, and then some of the tools and strategies you guys provide for financial advisors that work with business owners.
Sure, be happy to. So BEI actually is a membership-based organization. Our members are all other professionals. So we actually don't do any direct work with business owners. Our members do the exit planning with business owners, and we support our members through a variety of tools. And because I was a lawyer, as I started BEI, I tend to focus on working with other attorneys, with CPAs, with insurance advisors, and so on, and help and training them in exit planning, the exit planning process. But over time, our membership base shifted dramatically. Today, probably 85% of our new members are financial planners and financial advisors. So and I didn't notice that for a long time, but it's really very evident now. Our current training class and then some advanced exit planning concepts, there are about 25 people, 25 advisors. 24 are financial advisors and financial planners. So
that's interesting because really those financial planners are looking to provide this education to their clients and prospects that are business owners. So that just is it's always interesting when you do what you do and then you start noticing some trends. Hey, it looks like there's a lot of financial. Let's dig in a little bit deeper there, Mr. or Ms. Financial Planner. What exactly are you using this for? And then how can we come alongside you and help you do it even better? So I'm sure that has been, part of your growth process as well.
Yeah, and I think the reason for this trend, which is not going to go away, I don't believe, is that financial advisors, financial planners are really the only profession or professional that really bases their practice on planning. As an old lawyer or a CPA, I mean, we draft documents. If we're a CPA, we do tax returns and financial statements. We really aren't focused, with some notable exceptions, on really being planning oriented. But financial planners, they already know what a financial process looks like. They know how it can help.
It's future focused, right? Like a CPA might be looking backwards, like here's what you did last year, last quarter, let's now make these moves, but it's not as much. Now, yes, there are CPAs that look forward and plan, but like you said, financial planners typically are looking well into the future to plan for those retirement or wealth building contingencies. So exit planning would fit right into that model.
Absolutely. We often call exit planning is really helping owners plan for their future, whether that's transferring it to their children, selling it to a third party, keeping it indefinitely, selling it to insiders, using an ESOP. Our members help them because we provide training and tools to follow the exit path of their choice, to help them grow value, to minimize risk. So that whole broad area of planning, exit planning advisors are trained to do. Now, we don't train a financial advisor to do tax planning, but we do help them understand tax concepts and bring in the other professionals as needed.
Because there would be tax implications in a exit plan, right? Part of the conversation would be, hey, if your exit plan looks like this, then that would mean you should be planning taxes like that. If this, then that. And probably a lot of other ways. I work with a lot of financial planners who have the team concept, and they go, you know what? You already have a attorney, a CPA. Let's bring them all, get them on the same page, and working toward the same ultimate goal, which is your success. Well, this kind of fits right into that. This bucket of, what are you going to do with that L word, that legacy? Whether it's your personal, your professional, your business, are you just going to sell it, put a price tag, and take the check and go? If that's the case, here's what we need to do about it. But are we going to pass all of it, part of it, on to someone? But that there's so many variables, and I would suspect that your tools and your platforms, maybe even you have, or let me ask, do you have a software where you could help guide the advisor to say, okay, let's ask these questions, and then here's some variables that you can then work with your clients through?
Well, thank you for asking that question. Yes, we have a software program we've developed over 15 years that we call Epic, and it is a tool that enables an advisor to create a written exit plan based upon the goals, the aspirations of the owner, the resources they have, and the resources they're going to need. So we can take an owner through the entire process of understanding what they want to achieve, helping them build value within their company, helping them build value outside of their company. But it's always going to be led by a planner. Yeah. And that's why financial planners are ideal for exit planning, because they're planning based. And exit planning is just like financial planning in that, what does the owner want? their goals. What does the owner have, their resources, personal, financial, as well as business value? What do they want? What are the resources required to achieve their exit goals of, for example, leaving the business in 5 years, maintaining their income they have today, transferring the business to insiders, key employees, or maybe a child? Is there a gap between the resources they have, which could be financial or knowledge-based, whatever, and what they need to have? Well, our role, just like a financial planner's, is to plug that gap.
Yep.
Understand?
Well, that gap, I think that's where the magic lies, in my opinion, because you go to a sales training class and you'll be taught, find out what your prospect really needs, their aspirations, what transformation are they looking for, find out where they're at now, where the pain is, and the middle is the gap. Well, how do you bridge that gap? Many, many ways. Well, in your scenario there that you just mentioned, there's a lot of variables in this gap. How do you want to exit, full sale, partial, all these things, and where you're at now, what is your knowledge that you have now? Because sometimes they don't know what they don't know, and when you bring it to their attention to go, ooh, well, to get here, where you just mentioned, we need to take this into consideration, and maybe that's an aha moment. And they go, well, I never would have thought that. Thank you. And what do we do about it?
Exactly. So in our world, an exit planning advisor doesn't need to know all the solutions. They have a path. They have a process that they use that they're trained on. They have tools that are part of that process. But we want our advisors to bring in other top-notch professionals to implement a lot of the suggestions we might make, or that the other planning professional may make. Maybe our exit planning advisor is recommending a certain type of a deferred compensation plan, say phantom stock plan for a key employee. But the other advisor, maybe an attorney or a tax-savvy CPA, might say, well, that's interesting, but let's consider these other incentive-based plans as well. And so it's that magic of a team of advisors being led always by a planning-based advisor, coming up with solutions that are compatible with the advisors and are the best possible solution for an owner.
Now, that brings up a question that I've got, which is, I'm certain that when one of the financial planners sits down with the business owner and shows them a potential plan, and then the business owner says, oh, well, my guy or my gal, my CPA, my attorney, they've said this. I'm sure there's never any friction, but in the off chance that maybe, possibly, one of those other professionals might go, oh, well, I would recommend doing it this way. Let's just use the scenario of a CPA that says, oh, well, I feel like doing the stock this or the transfer that. Is your software able to take that scenario and plug it in and go, well, if we did it that way, here's what the result would be. And maybe now your financial planner is the guide going, well, hey, let's take a look at that, because I'm not going to say it's horribly wrong, but let's analyze this. So if we did it this way, clickety, clickety, click, and poof, here's this output. Now let's see, what that does for us, and then you can logically analyze it, not just opinion. And I don't know the answer to that, but I would hope that there would be a scenario like that where then everyone kind of looks at it and goes, we like that angle or we don't.
Yeah, it's simply what we would, in that scenario where there's an existing other professional who's coming up with a different recommendation for action, usually a couple things have happened. One, that advisor has never mentioned anything to their client about exit planning or that particular idea.
Yeah.
They're just reacting to the fact that now an exit planning advisor is making suggestions. The owner wants that CPA, who's their CPA, to be involved, and they give a different recommendation. Well, that's fine. That might be a perfectly valid possibility, along with maybe other recommendations. So there's nothing wrong with that at all. It's only when that other professional becomes really defensive and wants to exclude other advisors from talking to his or her client, right? That's where you can sometimes get an issue.
Yeah. And having hard data, like what the software would provide, would remove emotion and opinion because you can point to metrics.
Well, yeah, there would be a recommendation, but the best solution in scenarios like that is for the exit planning advisor to develop, and this takes time. It's nothing you can do in a matter of a month or two, but you develop a group of other professionals from other professions who are experts. And if there's a problem with, and you rely on them to verify the recommendations our software recommends, or to come up with a different recommendation that may be better and present that to the client. But we don't want to position an exit planning advisor whose core profession may be different than a CPA to try to argue with that CPA, because that's not going to be a winning.
Nobody wins.
We want to bring in an outside expert if the CPA's recommendation doesn't work well, or make alternative recommendations. But ultimately, we may have to go with that CPA's recommendation. But I have to say, that's very rare. That's very uncommon for that to happen. But it does.
You mentioned that you're such a high percentage of people coming through your institute are financial professionals. What are they seeing that using your tool, your software, and talking about exit planning, what are they finding is giving them like a leg up from their competition in winning business from business owners?
Well, I think the first thing is it differentiates their practice.
Yeah.
They're no longer just a financial advisor. They're a financial advisor who focuses on working with business owners. The solutions that we can offer go beyond just making a financial planning recommendation or an investment recommendation. We're looking at the whole picture for the business owner. We have tools and resources available that other competitors don't have. And again, so part of also then maybe to switch to a slightly different topic is one of the biggest problems for advisors is to get the attention of business owners.
Yes.
And then to engage them. Because business owners are busy, or maybe they don't think they need to do a lot of planning. There's just a host of reasons for owners to ignore any advisor, including an exit planning advisor. So part of what we offer members is a marketing system that includes a lot of different tools. First of all, a self-branded newsletter, self-branded white papers that discuss a particular issue that might be concerning to this particular prospective owner client. We have an assessment that is software-based that and one of our members can provide to an owner. They can take the assessment together. It's online. It can be on the advisor's website, and it will indicate to the owner who completes it what is concerning to that owner. So it may not be, I want to leave in 5 years with financial security. It may be, I'm concerned about growing the business. I'm concerned about how to keep my key employees. So there's a number of different concerns the owner brings to his or her attention, as well as the advisor, and then our advisor can offer some solutions to deal with that problem. It may not be a comprehensive exit plan. It may be, boy, I'm a business owner, I want to grow the business, but my management team isn't doing the job. Or I have a child, I want to transfer the business to my kids, but my kids, some may want to be owners and some may not want to be owners. So how do I design that aspect? So whatever it is, we have to find something an owner wants but doesn't have, and then we have to offer a solution.
Yep.
And that's
easy
what the
solution. Yeah, like take that quick assessment. Yep. That's a great point.
And that is probably the chief. It's very simple, anybody can any member can download the software and come up with a whole host of possibilities. So there are probably 16 or 20 different areas in the assessment, and the assessment will then rate based upon the owner's interest in which 2 or 3 perhaps to discuss with an owner and which aren't as important. So it really gives an exit planning advisor and a toehold into working with a business owner, maybe not to do exit planning immediately, but to help
it
the
opens
owner
up a conversation
solve the problem.
About more than just buy my thing. You know, it gives a quantifiable, deep content of, have you thought about this? Have you considered this? Here's some things to, rather than, oh, I've got this product that you need to consider, and then you look like a salesperson. Whereas now it solidifies the fact that you're a financial advisor, a financial planner. You're planning for the future. You're talking about exit planning. Here's some strategies that really have some teeth to them. And rather than you having to reinvent the wheel, here's this tool that you can use to get in front of the business owner so they can easily fill it out, get an assessment, and open up a conversation. To me, that seems like a wonderful open door.
And then it works exceedingly well. And our members can follow up with a white paper on that topic.
Yeah.
That they've branded it their own.
Yeah.
So that's differentiation versus being a financial advisor and having to go into a scenario and offering better service, or they're a better financial advisor. They're competing now with every other financial advisor in the country.
Yeah, that's a commodity at that point.
It's a commodity.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, John, we've opened up a whole lot of opportunity here, and I've really enjoyed how you guys approach exit planning and serving financial professionals. So what's the best way someone can learn more and then reach out and connect with you guys and see if that would benefit their practice?
Yeah, I think the best thing to do is to go to our website, exitplanning.com, and take a look at it, schedule an interview, which you can do online, to just meet with one of our coaches and learn more about the exit planning process and what the training consists of, what our tools are. We have dozens and dozens of tools, including the software that creates the exit plan, but also engagement tools, tools to enhance communication with other advisors that you would like to have form part of your team. All of that is available, and it's probably easiest access through one of our coaches. But there's also a lot on the website itself.
Excellent. So exitplanning.com, and I'll make sure that is hot linked to the show notes, and people can learn more about what you guys provide. So thank you so much for coming on. It's been a real pleasure talking with you today.
Likewise, Mike. I appreciate it.
You've been listening to Influential Entrepreneurs with Mike Saunders. To learn more about the resources mentioned on today's show or listen to past episodes, visit www.influentialentrepreneurssradio.com.